And now, please welcome Nicolas Franchet, Director of Global Vertical Strategy at Facebook.
Good afternoon. It's an understatement to say that we live in extraordinary times. I mean, think about the connectivity it took for you to come here today, how you interacted with phones and the internet to just get to this room. We live in a time of superhuman expectations, infinite memory, instant free communication around the world. People's expectations are greater than they've ever been. And technology, with 2 billion smartphones around the world, is changing the way people share, read, learn, interact, and of course, how they shop. And technology is redefining how companies are interacting with people throughout the path to purchase. It's a very exciting time to be in retail because we believe we're entering a new era of commerce. A new commerce era based on more information for people than ever, more control for people. An era that is redefining how people discover products, how they ultimately purchase these products, and an era that it can be challenging as well as exciting. Retailers having to rethink how they interact with these folks along the entire path to purchase and their entire lifetime. And this new commerce era, what I will call the mobile-first commerce era, is only 1 or 2 years old and is the product of a relatively quick evolution. So let me take you through what we think happened. First, if you delve back a few years, we were all in what we call the rule of stores. Not so long ago, really the only way to buy products was to go into a brick and mortar and purchase it there. And with the economies of scale, these stores became bigger and bigger with more and more products to offer. Then the birth of e-commerce started challenging that model because people could discover products in the privacy of their home on their desktop PC and purchase them and have them delivered. And they had more information also when they went about their purchasing process in the stores. And of course, the advent of mobile changed that a little further and helped retailers conceive omni-channel strategies. That is when you connect all the touch points together. And of course, many retailers are still refining that model, trying to provide a seamless interaction, a seamless experience to people. But we believe we've entered a new era, the era of mobile-first commerce. That is to say, of all the touch points, the most important one is the mobile phone. It's the first one. It's the one that is throughout the path to purchase, that is permanent, pervasive. And we're entering this phase. Now, there might be another phase later on, let's call it immersive commerce, with the advent of virtual reality, augmented reality, people being able to recreate an experience in the privacy of their home that would look and feel like the one in the store. But that is years away. Today, we really want to think about how do we pivot to this mobile-first commerce era fully and adapt to it. At Facebook, we're very much at the center of this revolution. Facebook, the big blue app, has now 1.65 billion users on a monthly basis, real people all around the world each month. Over 1 billion a day connect to our app. Over 200 million people every month connect to our app in the United States, and 91% of them do that on mobile. And if you remember, we were not a mobile-first company. We were born on desktop. We had to adapt to this world. As we continue to connect the world and make the world more open and connected, we're expanding our portfolio to more mobile-first experiences, like Messenger, which now has 900 million users, like WhatsApp, that recently passed the 1 billion people monthly active user. And of course, Instagram here with its new, fresh logo and 400 million mobile active monthly users. Together, Facebook, Messenger, and Instagram represent more than 50 minutes of engagement per day. And they represent more than 20% of the time spent online in the United States. We had to pivot to mobile because people demanded it. And we believe retail is falling in the footpath. When we look back at the last holiday, this headline always catches my attention. More people shopped online than in stores for the very first time last Black Friday. For the very first time. Now, of course, most purchases still occurred in a store. And some of them occurred online, some of them occurred on mobile. But mobile was critical at being the first touch point that people went to as they started thinking about their holiday purchases. Actually, our research, Facebook IQ, shows that last holiday, 45% of all shopping journeys contained some element of mobile along the way. And when you look at millennials, that number shot up to 57%. And it's only going to go up. Actually, the same study revealed that in 2016, omnichannel purchasers believe that they'll use mobile more than in 2015, 60% of the time. So we're seeing a pattern where the mobile device is now becoming more and more important to this path to purchase. And actually, when we unpack the conversions that we can track for the last holiday, we saw that 37% of them occurred on a mobile device. That is twice the rate that we had observed the year before. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? It means that mobile is not just a technology or a set of technologies. It's much more than that. It's fundamentally a different consumer behavior, a new consumer behavior. And particularly when you start studying the millennial group, you're starting to see a pattern that we've never seen before. Why do millennials matter? Because they've become your core customer. Actually, in the United States, the 18 to 34 age group is now the largest generation working group across all of them. Larger than the boomers, larger than the Gen Xers. They're in charge, they have jobs, they're building houses, they're building families. They have become your core customer. And they love mobile. Actually, Facebook IQ did some research on their behaviors of online purchasing, and 83% of millennials surveyed said that they like researching products on mobile. 69% of them actually like buying products on mobile, the majority of them. 61% of them actually have downloaded retail apps on their phones and are using them regularly. And finally, 44% of them prefer shopping on apps than any other form of retail. This generation is new and is different. They were not born mobile, but they have incorporated mobile into their day-to-day lives. And as your business becomes more and more dependent on them, it is pretty critical to embrace this mobile-first commerce trend in order to serve them fully. At Facebook, we build products to help retailers pivot to this mobile-first commerce world. And I want to showcase some of them, some examples, using these three dimensions. The first one is really discovery. This is about merchandising in new ways on a mobile device through a discovery mechanism. The second important theme is personalization. Personalization is not a new thing, but now more than ever, offering a personalized experience on people's phone is critical. It is the expectation of people that in the most private device that they own, you need to drive to more relevance. And finally, this is about return on investment. The promise of digital is to take costs out of the system, to make things more efficient for marketers. Let me take you through a few examples. It all starts with pictures. These are all heavily picture-based experiences, and getting the picture right is very critical. This is about visual storytelling. This is about reinventing merchandising, product storytelling, using this new medium where people are spending 20% of their digital time. And you're starting to see this on Facebook, but also on Instagram, where brands are telling stories around beautiful products to their core customers. But these stories are not enough. This is about driving sales, and we introduced a format with a call to action called Shop Now, which has become really the front and center of our experience for retailers. In this particular case, Walgreens is interested in sending traffic to its photo department. People who will shop now will actually be handed over to the site, whether it's website or mobile site or the mobile app. And that has become the core aspect of our experience. Of course, retailers have many products to upsell and cross-sell with, and therefore, carousel ads came about and allow brands here like Kate Spade to really showcase a story across three to five tiles, each clicking away to the right product page or landing area. This video has also become our fastest growing format on Facebook. Video on mobile is also defining its own rules now, and in order to tell really engaging stories, brands are experimenting with all kinds of format. Here's Target and their latest ad. A highly engaging ad that you scroll through, which automatically starts the video as you go from one vignette to the other. And that plays without the sound off, which is probably a good thing considering what you just heard. The latest innovation we launched to the market is Canvas. Now, Canvas is a fully immersive experience. In this case, Lowe's, using it to really showcase bathroom designs and really targeting 25 to 34-year-old homeowners to really introduce what they can do with their homes. What happened is they noticed that people were staying 28 seconds on average in this experience versus the couple of seconds we normally see. And you can see that you can click off to go to their site. This is almost like a microsite hosted on Facebook, loading instantly. When Lowe's launched this format, they noticed that they got a 6.7 return on ad spend on Facebook due to the high level of engagement and conversion that they experienced downstream. These are just a few examples of what we're doing on the discovery side, and you'll continue to see us experiment with more things. I want to move to personalization, which is another area that is being completely redefined by this world of mobile. The opportunity here with an area like retail, which is very data-rich, is to create new types of relevance, combining information that is on the retail side with the information that is on the Facebook side. You can create high-value segments by combining these data sets in a proprietary and privacy-safe way, and market to people in a way that increases relevance for them. All of a sudden, the content that you present to them feels very targeted and very relevant. Let me show you an example of that with Banana Republic. Banana Republic was very interested in talking to 3 groups. The first group was lapsed customers, people they hadn't seen in 12 months. The second group was prospects, people for whom they had an email but who had never bought. And the third group were top customers, people who come often, who are very eager to know what's coming next. And you can imagine that they spoke to them in different ways, and they showed them offers that were very specific to them. They also used our lookalike functionality to expand the groups that they had uploaded. And when they did all of this well together, they saw a return on investment that was 4 times what they saw on other channels on average. So when this is done well, it really, really works. Now, another way to do this is programmatically. We have a product called Dynamic Ads for retargeting, which you set and is triggered by the pixel on your site. In this case, Mercado Libre, if somebody goes to visit their site or their app, customers can be retargeted dynamically on mobile, on Facebook, in real time, using a set of business rules that Mercado Libre is fully in control of. And actually, as of last week, we introduced this same functionality on Instagram, and now the two can be combined together to create these, again, very rich, very relevant, very personalized campaigns for people. We're also doing a lot of work around the local signal. And what we mean by local is a couple of things. First of all, it can be anybody who lives in a particular location. But it's also people who are recently in this location. So where people are versus where they say they live. And finally, you can also distinguish whether they got to this place through traveling more than 100 miles or whether they were within 100 miles. All these signals can be added with all the other permutations that we saw before. And adding a local signal will continue to make things more and more relevant for people, particularly from retailers that have locations. Let me give you an example of a recent campaign from Tesco in the UK that does that very well. They're advertising a Mother's Day offer, but they're also giving people access to maps with locations of their stores that people can actually interact with and then determine which one is closest to them. It will plot a path for them to go, and all of that, again, within the confines of the experience that they've enjoyed and which they can go back to immediately afterwards. The last piece is return on investment. The idea, that's the third dimension, is really to create a system by which you can measure the impact of all the different touch points that people are going through. We've established that people start with mobile, but they also used all the other touch points you put at their disposal, whether it's a desktop, whether it's a store, and these touch points are going to continue to multiply. Our point of view is that the best way to really rethink your attribution models is by building people-based measurement. Not use proxies for people, not cookies, not clicks, real people, and follow them across the devices, across their experiences. When we actually survey people in the last holiday, we noticed that 25% of the time, they actually were not captured by the traditional measurement systems because they were changing devices, they were waiting too much time. People are more complex than we think. So 1 in 4 times, purchases are not captured, and your attribution models are not seeing what is really happening. I will leave you with the following thought, that in order to do this well, marketers are now having to work with both the left side and the right side of the brain. That is to say in order to maximize the engagements and the relevance, it's about creating messages that are beautiful and engaging and that work on a mobile device, really working with a creative muscle. At the same time, leveraging all the data and doing data-driven insights and programmatic approaches and real-time measurement and attribution in order to optimize these messages and the value that they bring to you. Combining the two is really what is necessary to get to the future of marketing, the right balance between the creative and the quantitative. And that's what we see very successful marketers do. We're entering a new world that is going to require a lot of experimentation and a lot of trial and error, but also innovation around the way brands think and interact with people. It's a really exciting time to be in this business and reinvent how you can reach all the people who matter to you in these platforms. And therefore, I want to wish you welcome to mobile-first commerce, and thank you.
Thank you, Nicolas.